and welcome to the glorious Lake District. We're here as part of the Royal Voluntary Service's Safe, Warm and Well campaign, which supports the virtual village halls, bringing the outside in. And I'm Elaine Fisher, I'm a lakes coach, personal coach. I do lots of walks and talks in the Lake District, and I'm delighted today that I'm here with my great friend Jo Andrews.
Hi everyone, you might recognise me from the village hall, normally doing a little bit of posture work with you or dancing, and you might even recognise Willow here, who is enjoying being outside on this beautiful day in the Lake District. So it's a pleasure to be coming to you today.
And the overall theme of today is just being outside, which is just wonderful, getting inspired in nature, and also we're going to talk about connection in the outside. And as we walk and talk, we'll also be thinking of a few questions that might come up that we can ask you as well, to be pondering as we wander along. So really looking forward to our walk. So today we're at Gummers How, which is a lovely view spot above Windermere, and if you look down there you can see the start of Lake Windermere and across to Finnesthwaite, and it's such a beautiful view, and we've got such beautiful weather today, and you get this wonderful perspective of the whole landscape. So as we move along you can see over to the high fells of Coniston in the distance there, if you see the peak with the little the pimple on the top, and Windermere stretches a wonderful 10 miles, and today it feels like we can see down that whole 10 miles. And as you're looking down and across, we're actually now looking right over to the Langdale Pikes, and if you look to the right of the screen now, you're starting to look up towards over the Claife Heights and towards Ambleside and the wonderful Fairfield Horseshoe. So that's where we are today at the start of our walk. So Jo, we've just had a real panorama of the lake and the fact, but it's just wonderful being outside, isn't it? And I wonder, just the immediacy of being outside, what does that mean to you?
For me, it's just about space, about air, feeling the different changes in the, so maybe there's a bit of wind, maybe there isn't a bit of wind. You feel like you're getting refreshed, able to take a deep breath and just feel the space around you. Doesn't matter really where you are, just being outside gives you that opportunity to at least stop and breathe, and that feels great.
It really does. I can feel that as well. It really does feel great. And I'm just going to go over here a little bit, because one of the things it does for me as well, it just gives you great perspective, doesn't it, if I can say it, perspective, so that you know, you start to recognise that, especially on high, you're kind of a small part of a really big system.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you can think about your problems and think, actually, are they really important in this great big scheme of things? And you think about whether they're going to be important in 6 months' time or a year's time. And for me, it really gives a perspective on whatever's, you know, your worry of the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
So as we walk, we'll start walking now, and as we walk, we just want you to think about what problems do you have at the moment, and could you put them in perspective with some of the lovely scenery that we've got around at the moment. So Jo, we're starting to walk, and we're walking up to the Gummers How trig point there. Walking's quite great, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what's brilliant is, especially when you've got a bit of uneven ground underneath you, and you were just talking about getting perspective. I'm going to meet some dogs and friends now, so there might be some barking in the background, which is fine. Is it just kind of, it does take you out of your head and into your body, and you can feel that ground underneath your feet, and it's just nice to connect with, you know, what's around you and the earth beneath you and your movement, and that just feels, now it feels less in your head and more in your body. And actually seeing two dogs joyfully running about with one another is a good example of just be free and joyful.
I know what I love about walking along is you can chat to people, and it's non-confrontational, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I think not looking at each other and you kind of got this, I think even with the sky, it's just the space there, and there's pauses in between your speech, whereas if you were maybe eye contact, talking face to face, it sometimes feels more intense, and it just feels nice and relaxed, I think, to talk and walk side by side wherever you might be.
Bit of a wobble there, but and that's so important, because also I think words can be really heavy for people.
Yeah.
And as you're walking along, you can let the words go, and they float off behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, we're coming up to a really nice view now. It's gorgeous. So we're up at the trig point of Gummers How, and you look across there, you can all the way over to Yorkshire, over to the How Girls, and we go over towards the Kent Estuary, and if you can see in the sun, you're walking all the way over to Morecambe Bay, which is absolutely beautiful. So Joe, we're just coming down from Gummers How, and we're going to go down to Windermere, and you can feel our walk already.
Yeah, we're both, you might be able to hear it on the this little film, is that you can hear us our breath, and we were just talking about how you don't always realise when you're out enjoying being outside and being in the environment that you're getting some great exercise as well. So it's great, isn't it, to find something that you enjoy, and that perhaps if you're not always motivated to do exercise in the conventional way, that you can come out, be outside, get the mental health benefits as well as just being outdoors, and get the physical benefits too. You can hear we're doing it again, we're heavy breathing again, but it's a good incline, this walk that we're on today, which is lovely. We've been hot, we've been sweating on the way up, and yeah, it's lovely.
And one of the things that I heard recently, and that what I was reading about, is that people now sitting at the desks is as bad for them over a long period of time as smoking. So just getting out just for a little bit, and just getting out for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or just even moving from your desk.
Yeah, so important.
It is really important, isn't it?
And it could literally be, it could be opening a window, couldn't it, and having a big breath of fresh air. It's trying to find something, and knowing that a little bit of something is better than nothing at all. So don't, be put off by maybe not having a big fell to go up in your lunch break or around the corner. It doesn't matter. You still getting the experience of being outside, putting your feet on the ground, looking around, looking up, getting away from whatever you're doing, and maybe even seeing other people along the way as well. Maybe even just a smile from someone else, making a connection is lovely. Gets you out of your everyday.
And I think we're just coming to a rocky bit where we have to clamber down.
Yeah.
So as we negotiate that, I wonder if a good question is, how can people get a bit more outside into the day?
Yeah, good idea, good question.
So we've kind of negotiated that rocky cliff.
I was just thinking there about your question, how do I bring the outside in? And actually, it could be something. I was looking down at the rocks here underneath our feet and thinking, well, maybe I could just pick up a bit of rock and bring it inside as a little memory of being outside, or maybe I could pick up a leaf from the ground, or I'm taking in, when I get inside, maybe I'm just taking the chill still with me from the outside in my hands. I'm still got that experience either in something physical, like a little bit of nature, or just still feeling that smell maybe on my clothes of just being outside in the fresh air. There's lots of little ways that we can do that. Maybe you could pick up a stone next week every single time you step foot outside, and then see a little pile, your own little trig point, your own little cairn, top of your mountain, your memories of taking time to make some time for you to go outside, no matter how small that might be.
I think that's absolutely wonderful, because I know research has shown that even sitting near a window, having pictures of nature on your desk.
Good idea.
So the thought of actually bringing something from the outside in and reminding you, really lovely. So we're now facing back towards Windermere, and we're going to wander down the path for a while.
Oh, some cows.
And we're
Want
going
say
to
hello?
see if Willow
Can ignore the cows.
ignore the cows as we go along.
The sun's starting to go down, isn't it? It's
It is,
surprising
it's
how
beautiful.
you forget that the days are shorter when you're in the big sunny spot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. That's kind of the end of Windermere as it goes down to the Leven estuary. And you'll see some people coming by now. Very popular place to walk. It's amazing how many places are like this, where there's a car park very close by.
Yeah,
It's an easy win, this one, isn't it?
it is. And yet when you're on the top, you feel like you're the only person.
Definitely.
But it's nice to see people, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Keep going by. You can hear the boats on the lake.
That's over at Lakeside.
Yeah, and you can see the ferries down there
Yeah,
that take all the trips up and down the lake.
yeah.
On
And
freight all year.
that's one of our local Felfoot park runs, isn't it? Felfoot National
Yes.
Trust.
And I think we should go down there actually.
Yeah, that'd
and
be
have a
really
look down the
nice.
side of the lake if we end up there. And on a clear day, it's a bit sunny today and it is a beautifully clear day, to the left, around a little bit, you can actually see Blackpool Tower.
Wow. Wow. I often run down here on a Saturday morning early with Willow to meet my family at Park Run for a cup of tea and a cake at the cafe there. And now I think about Blackpool Tower and running down. Often you think you can't make time as well to come outside, or other things get in the way, don't they? I was thinking about meeting you today.
Yeah.
And how it's a choice, isn't it? There's always something else that you could choose that needs doing, that's important, needs to be done, but actually that becomes less important when you actually do come outside. You realise that, you know, it's fine if I've left that, it's fine if I've left that job to do, I can do that job tomorrow. And I've benefited so much more from being outside today. I'm so glad
That is so
that
true.
I've chosen to come and do it.
That is so true. And sometimes it is just putting your shoes on is the hardest bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You get out.
You very
Feels
rarely
so
do
much
you
better.
come back and think, I wish I hadn't done that. You
Yeah.
often you're glad you have. It's quite an exciting
It is, isn't it?
path there, isn't
I'm very
it?
impressed, Joe, that you've run down here.
Yeah. I'll probably slip now.
It can be so still, can't
Yeah.
it? Really
I'm
still.
noticing all the tiny fine cobwebs. Can you see
Oh, yeah.
them? Like that you
Oh, the dew.
it's just so delicate. Didn't notice them on the way up. It just must be the light must just be. I suppose it's just changing all the time, isn't it?
It
The
is.
sun goes down. Beautiful.
One of the things about walking, talking, even on your own, is that movement, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast the other day and it was saying Steve Jobs would never sit at his desk.
Right.
He always, if he wanted to be creative,
Yeah.
got up and walked, because that's where he thinks he gets all the good ideas from. And I really, that really resonates with me. So
Yeah.
just let your mind wander.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not confined, are you? And it's nice actually that we've walked along and we've kind of gone, oh, look at that. Oh, look at
Yeah.
that. We shared the things we've felt and seen that, and perhaps you wouldn't have noticed those cobwebs. It's quite nice to sort of, or I might not have noticed that leaf or that berry
Yeah.
or whatever. It's nice to share it, isn't it?
It really is. So we're coming down from Gumshow now, and we're going to cross the road, and we're going to go into some woods. Absolutely lovely. So we just pop through a stile off the road, and we're now coming to a lovely bit of woodland that eventually will take us down to the lake. And we talked a bit, or don't we, Joe, about how when we're out, nature can really inspire us.
Yeah.
And there's the everything in its place kind of inspiration, but also you can kind of get metaphors from nature as well. And I just wondered, is there anything that's bringing to your mind, putting you on the spot?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm thinking about the lack of leaves and the fact that there's some leaves that, well, there's a lot of leaves that are turning the beautiful orange colour and letting go at this time of year, letting go of the rush and the growth of summer. And what's quite nice over there, I don't know whether you can see it or just behind me, is that there's still some trees that are still kind of reaching for this. They're still reaching and striving for something. Bit of sunlight maybe. I just see them as still going, still reaching out. And I suppose that seasonal part of nature can, if you've got time just to kind of think, what's it showing me, what's it giving to me right now in this moment, is there's things that have died and gone and passed, and there's things that you're perhaps ready to let go of. Maybe there's, in the sort of thinking about harvest, there's elements now that you're reaping that you've sown during the spring and the summer, maybe ideas, maybe plans, maybe they've gone, maybe you've done them, maybe they've gone, or maybe you're thinking, well, I'll sow that next spring. I'll and I think nature never seems to beat itself up, does it? And
No.
I think that is something, especially when you're reflecting, it's very easy to go into the, well, I should have done this and I wish I'd done that. Let's think about, what I have done, and if I haven't, it's fine. A tree wouldn't get cross at itself. and maybe there's a seed to be planted for next year. And there might even be a seed there that you don't even know is there yet, and that's all fine. So to kind of take a little bit of pressure off and let things go, and if there's crusty old leaves like this one that need to be let go of, then just let those sort of negative and dead thoughts go. And step into whatever's next. That was a very long answer to your question.
I love that. No, I love that. So it's a kind of autumn, and because of the harvest, it brings about a bit of a celebration.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a time of letting go, all the leaves letting go, and it's a time for planning for next year.
Yeah.
So being put on the spot, that was brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we could ask people maybe to think, as we're wandering through the woods, what it is that we can celebrate from last year.
Yeah.
But always great to be grateful for what's happened.
Yeah.
And what we've got. What don't you need anymore? What can be let go of so that you can have that real rest over winter?
Yeah.
And let go of things. And then what are you planning for next year?
Yeah. Good
Great questions that come out of just appreciating nature.
Kind of give yourself the opportunity to have seasons in the way that you operate, move, live, because we all know that to go full on, like perhaps the vivid brightness of summer isn't always possible, and can leave you feeling quite tired. And sometimes at this time of year you do feel naturally like you may be more sleepy, more tired as it gets darker earlier, and to kind of see if you can see that in yourself, or allow yourself, give yourself permission a little bit, if you can, if it's possible, to have that sort of closing in restful period, because
Yes.
you know, we're heading for also a big celebratory period, aren't we?
Yeah.
Christmas time for some people can be real go, and
Yeah, have
Right.
to be kind.
yeah, kind to yourself.
Recognise the seasons
Yeah.
of yourself too.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we're just coming down out of the woods now into Lake Windermere, and you can see all the leaves now, can't you?
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Smells great.
And we're actually at a place called Belfoot, which is on Lake Windermere, and we're coming here. It's National Trust property because it's a place where a lot of people come together. They have kids things.
Yeah.
They have
Paddleboard, canoe,
paddleboard, canoeing.
running. There's park run every Saturday morning. We come to that as a family and have done for a lot of years now, from our boys being really little, which is a lovely community, lovely group of people that we would never have met if we hadn't have just turned up one Saturday and been made to feel so welcome here. It's just lovely. It's,
And are we on the park run track now?
yeah, we're on the winter course. So in the winter time, we're running along these tracks. It's a 5k. Park runs are 5 kilometres. But in the winter time here, it we run around the sort of easier to run on tracks, and then in the summertime, we run around a meadow. But in the winter, it just gets really muddy.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it? And how many people turn up to park run?
Oh, so here at Belfoot we can have probably sort of 280, probably more than that. Someone would probably correct me, but you know, we get a lot of people turning up, visitors, local people. It's nice because they always say at the beginning, anybody, you know, where you're from nearby, or how far have you come from, and it's just a lovely, friendly. It doesn't matter how, if you run, you can walk it. So if you ever think about having a go at a park run, there's lots. If you look online, you can walk it or you can run it, and I am sure you would be welcomed on Saturday morning to your local park run. It's it really changed our life as a family. We look forward to Saturday mornings. It's ace.
There's a huge amount of opportunities there for connection with
Yeah,
other people.
and getting outside and exercising outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, really lovely.
It's one of the things, they call it social prescribing now, in terms of how the benefits, I suppose the mental health benefits, physical benefits of meeting other people, because a lot of people now are more isolated. We talked earlier about people working from home.
Yeah.
Also people are quite scared sometimes to go out, and this whole thing about loneliness at the moment being quite an issue for people, and actually physically affecting your health
Yeah.
as much as mentally.
Yeah.
And places like Belfoot and this outside space
Yes.
is just wonderful for connection, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you can't get to a place like this, but you can step outside of your front door, or even stand on your doorstep and breathe in and watch people go past, then there's an opportunity, like we said before, about, you know, smiling at someone or just making eye contact can change that person's day. It could change your day. I know having Willow and dogs in our world is a great way of connecting with people, because they just take out the human quality and it just brings you right down to earth. And often you spend time fussing somebody else's dog, or they fuss your dog, and the next thing you're having a conversation, and it's lovely. Animals are great for that.
What I love about, and I've noticed about dog owners, they don't know each other's names, but they always know the dog's names.
That's very true. That is very true.
And this must be, and I'm sure somebody watching online might dispute this, but this must be one of the prettiest park runs in
It's
the
a
country.
good park run. Yeah, we're lucky.
So we're there. We're looking straight up Windermere now.
This is the finishing straight.
Yes. And if you look on the right of the screen at the top, that's where we were standing at the beginning. That's
Wow.
Gummer's How.
Yeah.
and so you can almost see the 10 miles up Windermere, although it does bend round a lot. You see the sun on the high fells at the background there.
Yeah.
So this is the final straight when you're coming into
When you're coming in for your tea and your cake at the end in the great cafe. But yeah, and often there's hello there. And often there's there's people of all, well, there are people of all ages taking part, but also cheering each other on. In the summer, people are running with dogs and prams and little toddlers, and it's just ace. But yeah,
and there is something I noticed because we've come down for the cakes, not necessarily the run.
Yes.
But that people join in by marshalling. You don't have to be
that's
the
very
physical
true.
fitness, do you?
No, that's
people
very
join in
true.
by marshalling, cheering people, just watching.
Yeah, you can volunteer. It's always really welcomed as well, and the volunteers. Everybody gives the volunteers a big clap, and anyone can do that. And you'd be very welcome to volunteer at a local park run.
And we were out yesterday because it was Joe's husband's significant birthday.
Yeah.
And we celebrated that by walking up a hill.
Yeah, we did.
With a group of people in the fog.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful way of just getting together, isn't it?
It was really nice, and not everybody knew each other actually.
No.
And again, it's a real leveler actually, being outside and having a walk, in that you're all in the same boat. It's not about what you do, it's not about who you are, it's just about enjoying that physical bit of movement with other people. And there's like a lightness in that when you're chatting to people. It was lovely, and you can mix about, you can move around within a group, and that's nice too if there's a group of you.
And you said, I hope you don't mind me saying, that we were talking about Belfoot being here, and you said you feel like it's your spiritual home.
Yes, yeah. I was saying, I'm not religious at all, but it feels like, not that I go to church, but it feels like that's our weekly church, our weekly ritual, our connection, and it's just lovely. It kind of lifts you up, even if you feel like, oh, I can't be bothered today, I don't really feel like it. See those familiar faces and new ones, or someone will sit at your table and have a cup of tea with you that you've maybe never met before. Is it all right if I sit with you? And the next thing you're chatting away, and it leaves you feeling good. I don't know what it is or how it does it, but that connecting with people just leaves you feeling it's good. It's good for us. It's good for the soul.
Yeah. So I suppose our question for people is, even how sometimes it can feel, you can understand people feeling nervous.
Yeah.
But how can you connect more with people? Because the more connections we know that you have, or interactions, the more healthier it is for you.
Yeah.
And it brings such joy into your life, doesn't it? And opportunities, because doors open.
Yes.
And everything, and somebody will mention something's going on, and it all rolls on, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think the hardest thing is, often I know when I teach my community classes, people will say the hardest thing is getting through the door.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Once you're in, often those fears just melt away once you've tried. It's just that, and maybe it takes you 10, 20 times to put your hand on that door and try to come through. Once you're through, you think, why did I wait so long to do it? So if there's a little bit of doubt there in you, just think about maybe our words. We've been in situations where we've been nervous about trying something, or felt like, what if I make a fool of myself? What if I don't find anybody to talk to? What if I can't walk? What if I stumble? What if I get lost? Just have a go.
So this brings us to the end of our walk and talk, and we've gone right from Gummers How down to the Lake Windermere. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've got a bit of inspiration from being outside, being in nature. And we talked a bit about the importance of friendship and connectedness. So I'd like to say thank you for Joe, and it's been wonderful.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's been a real treat, and I hope we've brought a bit of the outside in on a lovely day in the Lake District. Thank you very much.